The Grand Theft Auto series is a franchise known for its highly defined protagonist, overly detailed open worlds, and extensive but somewhat bizarre lore. In 2008, Rockstar North rebooted the franchise for a second time, introducing players to the current narrative continuity commonly known as the HD universe. While some may dislike this shift since it means beloved protagonists from the 3D games will not return for future titles, it also raises the possibility that other Rockstar game franchises could be linked to this living, ongoing world. Red Dead is a video game series developed by Rockstar San Diego and published by Rockstar Games. It consists of 3 standalone games, including a dedicated multiplayer title. Officially, the Red Dead series unfolds across 3 distinct universes, often referred to as the Revolver universe, the Redemption universe, and the Undead Nightmare universe. While Rockstar North has never officially stated that the Red Dead series is a part of the GTA series, as it was not developed, written, or owned as intellectual property by Rockstar North, the developers have included Easter eggs and references across both franchises, Red Dead referencing GTA and vice versa. In this video, we'll answer the infamous decade-old question, are the GTA and Red Dead universes connected? We'll start by viewing a bunch of Red Dead connections in GTA 5, but I shall also touch upon one particular Easter egg within Red Dead Redemption 2 that relates to the GTA games before the video ends. During the mission, Daddy's little girl, the clerk at the bike rental establishment, wears a red t-shirt featuring an image of John Marston. Additionally, provisional stock footage from Red Dead Redemption is used as an Easter egg in the Pisswasser TV commercial in Grand Theft Auto 5. Various Old West pedestrians from the game, including John Marston himself riding a horse, are shown to represent unnamed stereotypical patriotic rednecks alongside modern rednecks from GTA 5. Furthermore, in the second episode of Princess Robot Bubblegum, available to watch on CNT, good show by the way, a background character at an anime convention can be seen cosplaying as John Marston. Now that we've covered that, let's shift gears and talk about something equally fascinating. The surname DeSanta given to Michael and his family could be a reference to Vincent DeSanta, a minor antagonist in Red Dead Redemption. However, Michael's false surname was chosen by him after making a shady deal with corrupt FIB agent Dave Norton, with his real name being Townley. Of course, no discussion about this topic would be complete without addressing the following details. Cafe Redemption is a coffee house chain featured in Grand Theft Auto 5 and GTA Online. Its name and logo, which depicts a wild boar on a plate, may reference Red Dead Redemption. Additionally, a rent-a-car agency named Escalera could be a nod to the town of the same name in Red Dead Redemption. Sandy Shores also contains 2 streets, Cholla Springs Avenue and Armadillo Avenue, which reference locations from the game. Now, it's established that New Austin and Nuevo Parisio, I don't know how to say that, but I guarantee more than half of you do not know how to say my name. It's Bogan Bav, by the way. Anyways, these locations do not exist in this universe, as there's no in-game mentions linking them to the HD universe. If no in-game evidence supports a connection between titles, then using this as proof becomes questionable. By that logic, we can assume that Los Angeles exists in the HD universe simply because it appears in LA Noire. Clearly not. Within the canon, both Cholla Springs and Armadillo are merely names of roads in Sandy Shores. Likewise, the neighborhood of El Burro Heights is named after a couple of characters called El Burro that appear in the original Grand Theft Auto and Grand Theft Auto 3, rather than being evidence of a shared universe. Here's where things get more interesting, because what happens next might change your perspective on everything. The last one is a Strangers and Freaks mission in Grand Theft Auto 5, available exclusively to Franklin after achieving 100% completion. In this mission, the lines spoken by the so-called Bigfoot man when shot by Franklin are identical to those spoken by the real Sasquatch to John Marston during the birth of the conservation movement mission in Undead Nightmare. The Sasquatch role player is voiced and modeled after Joel Marsh Garland, who also voiced the Sasquatch in Undead Nightmare. Tanner, the hunter encountered in the mission, closely resembles the Sasquatch hunter from Undead Nightmare, sharing the same voice, personality, grey animal carcass hat, blindness in his left eye, and bushy beard. However, Tanner's clothing appears newer, though it retains the same colour scheme as his Undead Nightmare counterpart. He also says things that allude to the Undead Nightmare universe storyline, such as saying, "Gonna make my great-granddaddy proud," and claiming that he's been hunting the beast longer than Franklin will ever know, and spent countless lifetimes in pursuit of the hirsute. But since these characters don't actually exist within the world of Red Dead Redemption and only pertain to the Undead Nightmare's alternative timeline, using this as evidence to connect both worlds would be misleading on my part. Now, this next part is where things start to get a little strange, but stick with me. In Franklin's Vinewood Hills house, there's a bookcase in the living room with a few notable titles, including a book called Red Dead by an unknown author simply named as J. Marston. J. Marston could be a reference to John as an Easter egg, or a nod to his son Jack, who was an avid reader and once entertained the possibility of writing a book himself. Similar to Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars, there are Easter eggs referencing Tony Cipriani, Toshiko Kazan, Miles Donovan, and Alex Shrub. These references appear in the form form of email messages signed with the first names and vaguely abbreviated surnames. Rockstar North usually avoids explicitly naming characters that belong to different universes in their newer games, since this can cause confusion among the fans, so this might be the case here. Before we dive into the next big connections, let's take a step back and analyze an important detail that often goes unmentioned. In GTA Online's character creation menu, players can select the John Marston as your protagonist's father as part of an exclusive social club feature. However, this is unlikely to be canon due to the major anachronism it introduces, as the earliest possible birth date for our GTA Online protagonist occurs 60 years after Marston's death in the year of 1911. Returning to the 21st century, in 2016, the Further Adventures in Finance and Felony update introduced a new buyer for the player's warehouse called New Austin Capital, a clear reference to the state of New Austin from Red Dead Redemption. This later turned out to be an Easter egg signifying the forthcoming announcement of Red Dead Redemption 2 on Twitter that same year. The update also included the rare pocket watch special cargo, which is actually an unfinished version of the Rootlinger pocket watch, a valuable item players can steal in Red Dead Redemption 2 during a Chapter 4 mission. The catch here is that only this new buyer can acquire the new special cargo, and during the Diamond Casino heist, some of the paintings the player can steal from the vault actually reference Red Dead Redemption, including one depicting the Aztec goddess from Undead Nightmare holding the cursed mask. Another painting depicts the Lannahechee Aniline Colorworks and Castile Cotton Company, both located in Saint Denis, but it keeps the setting vague enough to prevent any definitive confirmation. You might think we've uncovered everything there is to know, but there's actually one more crucial element to consider. In the Treasure Hunt quest, a teaser mission added in 2017 ahead of Red Dead 2's release, the GTA Online protagonist receives a random email from Vanderlinde at iFind.com containing a black and white photo hinting at a location to search for hidden treasure. The email address references Dutch Vanderlinde, a key character in both Red Dead Redemption games. The treasure itself is a double-action revolver modeled after the DD Pack-and-Bush revolver from Red Dead Redemption 2. It is hidden inside a Bowles Overland Stagecoach Company box, a business introduced in Red Dead 2. Despite all that, this promotional side quest does not confirm that Dutch has a descendant, as he canonically dies without leaving any children. On top of that, Dutch never owned a pair of double-action revolvers in either Red Dead Redemption game, only using a pair of Schofield revolvers and a semi-automatic pistol. The DD Pack-and-Bush Repeating Arms Co makes an indirect appearance in GTA Online, as the player can obtain the double-action revolver manufactured by them in Red Dead Redemption's canon, but only if unlocked through this optional treasure hunt. However, the weapon is never canonically used in the canon of GTA Online's storyline, nor is it mentioned by name in dialogue. Its true in-universe appearance and manufacture remain unknown. Just to clarify something, we're going to take a brief pause to explain some important points that, while unrelated to the Easter eggs we've discussed so far, are crucial to understanding the central question of the video. A shared universe requires confirmation through multiple factors, including promotional material linking both franchises, in-game dialogue, shared brands, direct mentions of story characters, and in-game celebrities by name, vehicles, car manufacturers, city names, and consistent lore within the universe in question. Red Dead and GTA don't fully meet these criteria, making it kind of difficult to establish a definitive connection between their worlds. This classification system is based on Rockstar's own logic regarding their GTA universes, which was established in 2011. Using this same system, the GTA community successfully confirmed a connection between the GTA and Manhunt franchises, as the latter fulfilled every requirement. So we've established the basics, but now it's time to dig even deeper. Juan Strickler, also known as El Rubio, is the main antagonist of the Cayo Perico heist update in Grand Theft Auto Online, who is voiced by Joseph Melendez. He's regarded as the world's most notorious narco trafficker and owns the island of Cayo Perico in Colombia, one of the most secure private islands in existence, which serves as a nerve center of his drug empire. According to keen-eyed observers on both Twitter and Reddit, one may notice a black and white photo in El Rubio's compound featuring a family that looks strikingly familiar. The individuals in the picture bear a strong resemblance to the German immigrant family Arthur Morgan can help in the story mission A Strange Kindness. The family in question includes a man named Andreas, a minor character in the series whom Arthur can rescue from outlaws. On two separate occasions in Red Dead Redemption 2, players will encounter Andreas and his family, his wife, son, and daughter on multiple occasions. However, little else is revealed about the well-dressed old man or his fate beyond these interactions. This discovery had sparked speculation among fans that Juan Strickler might be a descendant of this very family. Adding to the theory, El Rubio refers to his Opa, which is the German word for grandfather, during the introductory cutscene of the heist. Little is known about El Rubio's past, but the details he shares about his family raise questions regarding the story that was established in Red Dead Redemption 2. He states that his grandfather, not great-grandfather, was German, yet he's also Colombian, suggesting that he is of German Colombian descent rather than purely German. One of his nicknames, the Blonde Colombian, further reinforces this heritage. The Strickler family's coat of arms bears the motto Mit offenen Armen, meaning with open arms in German, and serves as the territorial emblem of his private island. Strickler is also a firearms expert, possessing a golden pistol known as the Perico pistol, engraved with his family crest. What's more is that he patented a custom golden military rifle, a modified version of the Vonfire military rifle used by his private security force named El Strickler. Additionally, after witnessing El Rubio feed Gustavo to his pet panther, Pavel remarks, "There's this old Russian proverb, never trust a German with a panther." This line is in reference to World War II, specifically to Germany's invasion of the Soviet Union during Operation Barbarossa, which led to the development of the Panther tank in response to the superior Soviet T-34. And this would make El Rubio a descendant of the many Germans who immigrated to Colombia during World War II, and it fits. Therefore, the vintage photographs displayed inside his mansion wouldn't necessarily depict Andreas and his family, but rather his predominantly Colombian family from his grandmother's side. And speaking of stories, the events in Red Dead Redemption 2 contradict El Rubio's family history. First, Andreas and his family immigrated to the United States in 1899, not during World War II. Secondly, they were in the gold mining business, but the idea that this is where El Rubio's gold came from doesn't hold up, because Andreas gave the last of his gold to Arthur during their first encounter. When we see the family again, they're living in Ansburg, a coal mining town in New Hanover. The town's name, like the state's, has German origins, which explains why it has some German settlers. However, Ansburg is a place of poverty, and as seen in Chapter 6, they're clearly struggling financially. Given their entire story, it's difficult to justify the idea that they later became ancestors of the world's most notorious drug lord. Ultimately, the supposed connection between El Rubio and Andreas doesn't hold much weight. I think it makes far more sense for El Rubio to be a descendant of a former World War II soldier than of Andreas. If this isn't a connection, then why do this? Well, it comes down to both circumstance and convenience. Rockstar North collaborated with Rockstar San Diego on Cayo Perico, and many assets from Guarma were repurposed throughout Cayo Perico. Inside El Rubio's compound, players can find several vintage photographs depicting a farm, gunslingers, and various characters meant to represent in-universe Colombian locations and people. To create these images, Rockstar San Diego used stock photos from Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Online, as GTA 5 lacks historically appropriate environments and mid-20th century style pedestrians. These images also needed to resemble the Colombian countryside during World War II. This creative decision not only served practical purposes, but also acted as a subtle Easter egg referencing the Red Dead series. Of course, you're free to believe that El Rubio could be a descendant of Andreas. However, when the lore of both games contradicts each other, that connection must be questioned. Now onto the Easter egg you've all been waiting for, the time traveler. Francis Sinclair was born in either 1898 or 1906 to Tom and Mrs. Sinclair. His father passed away before he was born, leaving his mother to raise him alone. During his youth, he lived in her hawk-eyed cabin just outside of Strawberry. At some point, he relocated to the East Coast, where he lived an affluent life as a collector of sorts. In Red Dead Redemption 2, Francis Sinclair is first encountered in a modest cabin outside of Strawberry, where he shares his story of hunting for rock carvings scattered across the world. He offers a generous reward for the locations, but remains cryptic about his reasons for seeking them. He speaks in an unusual dialect, using slang that seems out of place for the era, confusing the protagonist. Upon completing the Stranger Quest Geology for Beginners and returning to his cabin, players discover Sinclair's notes and drawings. These documents, filled with strange symbols and depictions of future events, strongly suggest that he may in fact be a time traveler. Francis Sinclair has neatly combed ginger hair, an orange pencil mustache, and a distinctive birthmark on his right eye. Due to this unique facial feature, players have speculated that Francis may be a reference to, or even related to, Kraft, a deity worshipped by the Epsilon program in Grand Theft Auto 5. Within the Epsilon belief system, any member of the program who has a prominent birthmark on their head or face is considered a possible descendant of Kraft. In the HD universe canon, it's stated that those born with birthmarks on their elbows or booty cheeks may also claim descendants from Kraft, though this is more a general designation. Generic male Epsilonists in GTA 5 frequently boast about being Kraft's descendants, often while stealing cars. However, only those with a birthmark on their head or face have the honor of drinking with Kraft in the fourth paradigm. Furthermore, the Epsilon Tract makes it clear that the Unsavables cannot be related to Kraft or the Epsilon program in any form. Unsavables include Antithesis, people of science, and most notably individuals with red hair or any distinctively red features in their appearance. A random pedestrian phone call between an Epsilonist and a contact further supports this belief. I feel like I said Epsilonius earlier. Given this, Francis Sinclair appears to have no connection to the Epsilon program. His red birthmark and prohibited red hair, his ties to time travel science which contradict the Epsilon rejection of science, the fact that Epsilonianism was created long after his era, and his existence within the Redemption universe all undermine any credible link. These inconsistencies, supported by in-game evidence, strongly discredit any theory that Francis Sinclair has any relation to Craft or the Epsilon cult. Regardless of the aforementioned points, Francis Sinclair's distinct birthmark is never used for any religious purposes. Instead, it serves as a plot element for a bigger reveal during his final encounter, allowing players to recognize him in his second form. The birthmark helps bridge the connection between adult Francis and baby Francis, reinforcing the time travel narrative. This mission was never about Chelonianism or Epsilonism, it was about the science of geology and real life history with a subtle blend of science fiction. Well, we've finally reached the moment to answer the big question of today's video, and my final answer is that I don't believe these two universes are connected. I know that some of you might disagree with me, but it's the one that aligns most with the facts and in-game evidence from both Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption. However, if you disagree, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's open up the discussion and see what everyone thinks. Sadly, as of February 2025, the HD universe remains an ambiguous standalone continuity. However, there's always hope that Grand Theft Auto 6 could introduce more evidence either for or against the fan favorite gaming theory. Interestingly, the HD universe might have been a shared universe if Rockstar North hadn't cancelled Agent, a game that featured several GTA vehicles and manufacturers during development. But without Agent, there's no in-game justification for linking GTA to another Rockstar franchise. But that is a topic for another time. If you'd like to see a follow-up where I cover every single GTA Easter egg found in the Red Dead Redemption series, or a video where I dive into the mystery of Agent, let me know down in the comments below. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Oh my god.